What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a hoot and a holler big banger of a video. Drop a like if you guys do enjoy, and also, I do want to say real quick, for all you guys asking about my second channel, which is my smoking/gaming channel, asking, where's the uploads and all that, I have to play through the entire game, and it takes a while. I'm trying to put some real effort into these videos, the videos that I put on this channel don't take super long to make, right? I just kind of sit down and tell a story to you guys. But the videos on that channel, I'm actually putting effort and genuine production value into. So, I want to have a steady amount of videos prepped before I launch the channel so I don't get backed up editing one video, So, yeah, I apologize for the delay on that, but either way, it'll be worth the wait, I promise. So, let's dive right into it. Now, this happened fairly recently, and, this was a pretty eventful day. I call up my boy Bobby, who's been in quite a few stories, quite a few videos of mine. If, I assume a lot of the OGs, you guys probably remember him. I call up my boy Bobby, I ask what he's doing. He's like, shit, come pick me up, I gotta move. Now, that got me excited. I was like, all right, I like moves. So I go pick him up. We hit the liquor store, get some drinks, we pick up a couple cases of beer, and, I ask him, all right, what's the plan for the night, what are we doing? I got a little bit of bud, and, I find out that we're going to be going to this girl's house, well, not her house, but kind of her house. She was house sitting for these people who she didn't really know very well, from what I could gather, and she wasn't supposed to have any people over. So originally it was me, Bobby, and 3 other people. About 5 of us in total were, expected to come over there. And, what ended up happening was me and Bobby, after we got our drinks, and I already had my bud, so I was all set to go. We went over there. And then we had the other 3 people also there with us. So it was 6 of us in total, including the girl whose house it was, who we're going to call... Did I give her a name yet? We're gonna call her Dorothy. That's an interesting name. I don't think I've ever used that name. Let's use that. So, Dorothy is also quite the character, and I don't really think she thought this plan through, and I'm not sure if she was intoxicated or not by the time we get, before we even got there, This was a dumb decision all around, but either way, me, Bobby, and the rest of us get there, and there's already 5 more people than there's supposed to be, and this house is... Honestly, it's spectacular. This house is super nice. You go downstairs, probably one of the nicest in-house bars I've ever seen in my life, let alone one of the nicest basements. The basement alone is probably as big as, my house. This place was seriously super fucking nice. And... we were kind of looking around as we went in the basement. We were looking around to see if there was any cameras, just because we figured these people are probably really wealthy, and chances are they definitely have some sort of security going here. So we looked around and we didn't see anything. So, we kind of chilled out. We didn't really need to drink anything from behind the bar quite yet, nor did, I don't think any of us really intend to at this point, but... What happened was we were cooling it for a little bit, just sipping some drinks, and, eventually... Bobby got the idea to invite some more people over, which, if we're allowed to, I'm all for it. Now, Dorothy was kind of conflicted on this. I think she was drunk and just couldn't really give a valid answer. She wasn't, that fucked up, but, she just couldn't decide. So she would say, no, don't invite more people over, but then, she'd also be down to have more people over. It was a... Either way, more people came over. So, originally I was thinking okay, maybe we're going to invite over 3 or 4 more people, no biggie, just a couple more friends. So 30 minutes later and 20 more people later, we've got a scenario, to say the least. We've got a little event going here. And by this point, we've just been sipping these beers. I'm pretty fucking drunk, I'm not gonna lie. I'm also fairly baked, and everyone there's having a good time. We got the music going. The speakers in the basement are amazing, super nice, and everyone's just kicking it. We're just rolling blunts, smoking them in the garage, and, at this point, shortly after everyone got here, all the 20 additional people that for some reason got invited, pretty quickly, the bottles behind the bar started getting cracked open. And that's when I knew that shit was going to go wrong. Because one thing that you don't do in a stranger's house is drink their liquor if they have a bar. Like, in general, don't drink their liquor, but especially if they have a bar, because that indicates that they really like their alcohol and they're probably gonna notice. So, we originally just started off with, I didn't crack the bottles. Let me go forward and say that, all right? There was some other individuals. I ain't no snitch. I ain't saying any names. But there was some other individuals who cracked some of these bottles, and they had some spectacular tequila and whiskey and all sorts of amazing shit on this bar, and it was all backlit by, like, neon lights. It looked amazing. This shit was so dope. And, we're just, they are pulling bottles off the shelves and, just doing their thing, looking at these bottles. And, we start off with a couple shots, end up, like, 4 bottles empty, and just a big problem has arisen. And, by this point, Dorothy gets a text from the owner of the house saying, "Do you have anybody over?" Now, she comes and gets Bobby, and I overhear, so I go with, because I'm a little curious. I'm like, wait a minute, like, how do they know? So we're kind of looking over her shoulder as she's texting the owners back, and, Bobby's, like, coaching her through what to say, but I don't think she really said what he told her to say, and shit just went terribly, really quickly. She, like, confessed to it and said she was getting him out quickly. She was like, yeah, I have a couple friends over, I'm getting out fast. And the owners were like, I think you misunderstood us. There are no people to be in our house. And, like, they sounded mad as hell. And Bobby was like, oh, yeah, they're cool. They're not mad. And I was like, dude, they look pretty pissed on that. And I don't know what happened after, but pretty quickly, maybe 5 to 10 minutes after that text, the doorbell rings. And this is where shit really hits the fan. I mean, shit nails the fan. So, basically, the doorbell rings. Bobby goes to the door and looks through the peephole. It's this older, middle-aged looking-ish Indian guy. Now, nobody knows who he is, so Bobby goes downstairs and asks if anyone has a ride coming. Now, these kids downstairs did actually have a ride coming, so they were like, oh yeah, that's probably our ride, we're just gonna dip. So this group of like 5 kids comes upstairs. There's one dude who we're gonna call Ron. He's like he was just in the group. And Bobby asks Ron, he's like, yeah, is that your ride? Go look through the peephole. And he kind of goes and looks, doesn't really pay attention. He's like, yeah, that's our guy. So Bobby opens the door, and very quickly, Ron realizes that it's not the guy. It's not anyone's guy. No one knows whose guy this is. And we find out very quickly it's not a guy we want to meet. We open the door, and we all kind of freeze. And he goes, Dorothy? He asks for Dorothy, and she's downstairs in the basement. And apparently, I don't know if he said it because I was kind of further back, so I didn't hear the conversation. This is what I was told. Apparently, somehow, he either like said he was the neighbor, or somehow it was found out that he's the neighbor. So Bobby just backs up from the door, turns around with the door wide open, the guy's still standing in the doorway, and he just yells, fucking run! So everybody, and I mean everybody in this house, just fucking books it out the back door. Like, literally, the glass sliding door on the back was ripped open, and people are running out the back, and I'm like, okay, we're kind of like panicking here. This is a little ridiculous. All in front of the guy. Like, no one even bothered to close the door. This guy's standing there while like 15 to 20 drunk ass kids are just sprinting out of the back door, and he's just watching it all happen. And we run out the back, and there's like 5 or like 6 people vaulting the fence into the other backyard. Now, they didn't park over there, but they were vaulting the fence, and I was pretty drunk, so I was like ready to go with him. And then my buddy runs up to me and he's like, where are you going, Nick? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I just thought we were all jumping the fence. He's like, nah, let's just go back to your car. It's out front. And I was like, oh yeah. Cause I thought about it and I was like, wait, he's not a cop. Like, what the fuck is, like, what's he gonna do? So we all just walked back to our cars, kind of jogged. I wouldn't say walked, we jogged. But, we definitely lightly jogged back to our respective vehicles. Got the fuck out of there. We had the least drunk guy drive every vehicle, so it ended well. And I never found out what happened because we just left. And as I was running, I looked back and the guy was still standing on the porch. I don't know if anyone was talking to him. I don't know if Dorothy ever came and, like, addressed him. But he was just standing there. I mean, he looked at us at some point. He didn't really try to do anything, but either way, hope you guys did enjoy this video. Drop a like if you did. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying the daily uploads. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.